That's usually mine, but
It's probably
Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Just kidding, it's your seat.
I think this is May.
All right, we'll call the Monday, January 24th, 2022 City Mayor Regular City Council meeting to order at 6:30 PM. If we could start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, with that, do we have any additions to the agenda tonight?
We do not.
Hearing none, I'll look for a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. We will open up for public comments. If there's anyone who would like to discuss anything that's not on the agenda, please come forward. Seeing no one, we will close public comments. With that, we'll move to consent agenda. Is there anything on the consent agenda that needs to be pulled for further discussion?
I just have a minor change to the claims, and Nikki, if you don't mind, I did make a correction on there at the last minute. So we had to reissue a check, and I put the wrong amount. It's actually, Nikki, do you mind going over that, or?
Oh, yeah. It's the check number 24231, customized fire rescue training. And do you want me to just say what it was?
Yeah.
It was $24,231, but it has been reissued for $4,640.
Yeah, so we had to reissue the check, but that $20,000 amount was wrong, and it's actually the $4,000 amount.
Perfect, thank you. Anything else? I just have two items for correction on page 3, the January 3rd minutes. If you go down to the very bottom for adjourn, it looks like it was 3-0 where everything else was 4-0. I don't believe anyone left.
You're right, yep.
And then on page 6, 10th of January minutes, if you look at the consent agenda where it says approved consent agenda, it says a motion was made by council member with a second by council member. If you could just make those corrections. I'm sure you have in your notes who did make the motion. Okay, thank you. So with that, I'll look for a motion to approve the consent agenda with those 3 changes.
So moved?
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. 7A1, Maggie, request to act as a conduit for Crown College.
All right, Mayor Dodge and Council, in front of you this evening is a request from Crown College to act as a conduit. So as you know, we've done this in the past. We have been contacted by Taft Law, and they've notified us that Crown College would like us to consider being a conduit. We are able to do this for 501c3 organizations. So I can go over a little bit about their project that they're looking for us to help with. So it would be a refund in part for bonds that were issued by the city of St. Bonifacius for them in 2016. So that was for the construction, the acquisition, reconstruction, equipping, and renovation of certain student housing, classrooms, athletic, and other facilities located on the Bowers campus. It would also go to finance the acquisition, construction, and equipping of new student housing facility located on the Bowers campus. As I mentioned before, we have acted as a conduit before. Most recently was Groves Academy. We did a refinance and an additional funding for them in 2021. We did act as the issuer in 2014. We also did Mayor Lutheran High School in 2020. So I will go over the process again for new council members, or actually we did this in 21. So you are aware of the process. It's similar to the ones that we did previously. So our policy does allow us, and it provides guidance on procedures that we need to follow if we are to get involved in conduit financing arrangements. In this case, the bond counsel would be Catherine Courtney of Taft, Stettinius, and Hollister. They did the other conduit financing work for us in the past. There is no liability to the city of Mayor, and for this project, the bonds will be purchased directly by Old National Bank, a local organization. So again, this does not impact the city's rating on bonds. When I did talk with Catherine, one of the things we do look at is if the city is going to issue any bonds for its own projects in the year. So in 2020, we do not plan on issuing any bonds. We are limited to issuing $10 million in bonds for each year, and again, we are not issuing any. Their project will be approximately $15 million, and so the city of St. Bonifacius is looking to issue part of the bonds as well for this project. So we're expected to be covering about $7,750,000, or that's what the ask is. So based on our policy, we do receive, if we agree, an administrative fee to cover as the issuer. The precise amount has not been identified. Our policy does say $25,000. And this is, it says up, based on the amount that they're wanting to issue, it would be $25,000. They want to make sure that St. Bonnie's and ours are the same, and so they would work that out with us, but they do expect that we would get the full amount. So right now, this meeting is just to take this and ask into consideration, and to notify them if we want to move forward in the process. This would include a public hearing. So my recommendation would be, since we do not have any projects in 2022, to approve moving forward with the request from Crown College to act as a conduit in the amount of approximately $7,750,000 to assist in the financing of their project. In your packet was also the letter from the attorney, the bond attorney, and then also our conduit financing policy. There is some other information that I did not go through, but if you have any questions, I'm available to provide answers.
Perfect. Any questions for Maggie? With none, then I'll look for a motion to direct city administrator to work with Crown College and their legal representation to move forward with this process.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. 7A2, Maggie, donations and of surplus equipment policies.
All right, so every so often, cities can have excess equipment that they no longer need. Some cities choose to sell it if they feel that they are able to sell it on the market. This process usually includes posting or finding somebody to or put it on the market for the city. We've done it before in the past with, most recently, the fire department tanker. But another option is to donate excess equipment. With that, we do, as you know, with our new fire station being built, the old fire station, we started cleaning it and we realized that we did have some excess equipment that was old and outdated that we didn't need anymore. Instead of throwing it away, which is another option, we felt, the fire chief and I felt that some of this stuff could be donated. We don't know if, again, like if these donated items will be wanted, but they at least can be posted for donation and see if anyone's interested. We can also, if we think there's anybody who would be interested, we can solicit them as well. But we do not have a donation policy in place. And so with that, this evening I'm recommending a policy for the city to establish. It is a policy that meets the requirements of Minnesota state statute. It was drafted, or a template was drafted by the League of Minnesota Cities, and so I based ours off of theirs, so we know that it does meet all the requirements. So one of the items, again, for tonight is to pass this policy, and then we do have another item on here that will go over kind of those excess items that we're looking to donate, and then we would also be able to use this policy in the future if we ever have excess equipment that comes up that we would consider to donate instead of, if we feel that that's the most appropriate path to take. So with that, I'm recommending, since we currently do not have it, approving the included donation policy for surplus equipment.
All right. So we had that sent out in our packet. Any questions on the proposed policy? With that, then I'll look for a motion to approve the city of Mayor donation of surplus equipment policy.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second?
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. 7B1, donation of surplus equipment.
All right, as I mentioned previously, the fire department has equipment that is obsolete and no longer of use. So in line with our policy, we do need to estimate what the market value of these items are. I'll go over what the equipment is and what I think the value is. So we have excess expired turnout gear. We have 20 sets that are expired and OSHA out of compliance. And then we have 12 pairs of old boots. So I go into detail about exactly what personal protective equipment is for firefighters and why it becomes expired and no longer able to use. So because this equipment is no longer meets the legal requirements, I feel like the market value on this is zero or under $500 because I don't think anybody's going to buy equipment that they can't use. But that doesn't mean that other organizations, again, our policy says we have to give them to nonprofit organizations to use. That doesn't mean that there isn't a nonprofit organization that could accept this equipment and actually send it overseas or to a country or somewhere that could use this equipment because their laws are different. And we have identified that there are organizations like this. So if there is, we will reach out to them and see what they think and if they could use the equipment in that way. Otherwise, we would just wait to see if somebody else is interested as well. And then we have expired hoses and obsolete radios. Again, I provide information about how long hoses usually last, and that ours are currently, again, are not usable by our fire department. And then obsolete radios as well. Technology changes, radios age out and become obsolete. So again, because these items don't meet the requirements, I also feel that the market value is likely under 500. So again, based on our policy, I would, with council's approval, follow the process of donating this equipment. If it is under 500, the value, then I'm able to move forward with the nonprofit organization to move it forward and then notify council that I have made that decision. If it's over 500 per our policy, then I would need to bring it to council for you to approve the donation. So in this case, I do think, and if you agree, I do think all of this stuff has a market value of under 500. So that would allow me to directly post it, follow the policy, and then work directly with a nonprofit if we find somebody.
So based on the policy, we don't have to take action. Just approved a policy for under 500, correct? I mean, you're not planning on bringing, are you planning on bringing everything to council to get confirmation that we agree it's under 500, or are you making that decision for the policy?
That's what I've decided, but if you agree, then
We approved the policy. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think we need to do anything more for this,
okay.
unless you want a motion.
I mean, a motion would be fine. Just maybe supporting my assessment. That's the rationale that I had to decide that they were under 500, but, and
That's right.
if there's,
Will that be going forward? Will that kind of be the policy, the way you'd be bringing things like this?
yeah, I think because there's an actual line in the policy that states with council support.
Yep.
And so I guess
Okay.
the way I interpret that is getting council
That's
approval.
fine. If that's fine, I would be fine the other way too. If you worked with the department head and between you and the fire chief in this instance decided he's certainly the expert
Right.
versus me, but, okay, no, that's fine then. I'll look for a motion to donate the turnout gear, hoses, or the obsoleted turnout gear, hoses, and radios.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
So just for, I think it was somewhere, I can't remember, but for our liability, if we donate like turnout gear, and they actually use it for turnout gear, we're covered if somebody gets hurt using the turnout gear in,
No, because we don't own it. We will not, it'll be a transfer
Okay.
of ownership. And so,
So it'll go to the nonprofit, and the nonprofit's gonna take accountability for it, and wherever they distribute it will be
Yep.
Plus, it's listed as a obsolete.
yeah, we're being transparent about that it doesn't meet our guidelines. Or, yeah, but,
very good.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, council reports. Councilmember Healthy.
Looking forward to the collaboration meeting in February with Park Board.
Perfect. Councilmember McNeely? No. Councilmember Wagner?
No.
Councilmember Lender?
There is a CCL meeting tomorrow, and thank you, Peggy, for sending that along.
You didn't get it?
I did,
Oh,
from you.
good.
And then there's a planning commission scheduled for February 1st that I hope happens.
Perfect. And I only had one personnel committee last week to work on the Public Works employee, and that's all been resolved, so nothing to report on there. So I have nothing more. So with that, I will look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion, and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.